Yeah, Rhinos versus 4-color. Can we get deck lists real quick? Get a preview.
No, I got a picture of it. Here, I can pull it up.
So yeah, obviously not the 4-color or the 5-color variety, but Josh, you do have some experience in this matchup from a blue-white control standpoint, at least.
Twan's list, and then Rhinos.
What are the key factors in this deck? Obviously,
Teferi Time Rattler. Now, I will say this let's look at Anthony's list. If Anthony is mainboarding Mystical Dispute,
which he should be, I believe, 2 copies.
He's mainboarding 2 Mystical Disputes. I actually like Anthony's just because you're keeping him off balance, and that version of control is a little bit clunkier with running Beanstalks and cards that just like Ren 6. You don't really care about those kind of cards. So, and cards like Leyline Binding aren't really an effective answer for crashing footballs because you're just dealing with 1 token, half the problem. So I really actually like Rhino's side on this. They just have a lot of cards that are just keep them off balance that can just affect them. And with the main board Mystical Dispute to really push through those spells and more importantly answer Teferi Time Rattler, I think that's going to be key in the match. And I wouldn't be surprised if that card actually propels Anthony to the finish line.
Right. And it looks like we are about a gear up for this match. I think we can go ahead and transition over to the match and then get the names situated. Do we want to transition to the game first? Yeah, so we'll get this matchup on screen. They are shuffling up right now, not yet resolving mulligans, but getting prepared.
Anthony's still on the right.
Yes, Anthony's still on the right. We will fix, or on the left rather. We will fix the right, which should be Twan on 5-color control. Yeah, so other than Teferi Time Rattler, Josh, you say Leyline Binding doesn't really do a lot. Solitude, similarly, you're just kind of 2 for halving yourself almost against Rhinos.
Yeah.
What are other relevant cards that the control deck has in this first game?
I can answer this. The most relevant cards that you have is Teferi.
Just hit that.
Right, but other than the Teferi, is there anything like really backbreaking from the
Prismatic Ending is really cool because it's just the 1 mana, but it is a 1 for half, but sometimes it's good enough.
Sure.
The real thing that you
Binding.
want. Yeah, Leyline Binding is good. Really what it is, it's not the first Rhinos, it's the second Rhinos that's a backbreaking
the second Rhinos.
And the thing is, and that's why I like Anthony's side of this, is because yes, it's the second Rhinos, but that's just 2 of 8 cards that you need. It's just, it's so strong. And what my prediction was, Will, and I would like to hear your thoughts, what I think is going to push Anthony over the top is the main board Mystical Disputes. I think that's just going to be so strong in
That
this
is
matchup.
why it's in the deck. So
it just snipes Teferi.
It runs 2 of and then 2 more on the side.
Yeah.
So.
But now, obviously, as we can see right now, they do have access to deck lists, so Twan should be knowledgeable of the Mystical Dispute. I wonder if he'll be able to play around it.
Go to edit, stream, the pencil. Right there.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to change the name to Finals. Okay. Yes, I wonder if Twan will be able to play around Mystical Disputes, if he'll have that option, and if he'll find it. That's also assuming that Anthony can find the Mystical Dispute in the first place. 2 of is a non-irrelevant number in the main board, but it's also not a guaranteed find.
Yeah. Let y'all know, too, this is the finals of the match. We've been streaming all day. Thank y'all for being here and whatnot. We're going to try to stream more of this content. And as always, like I said, there are 6 of us on this channel. We all try to stream at least once per week. If y'all want to watch some leagues or have any recommendations for some leagues, 7. Yeah, 7.
There are 7 of us on this channel.
I can't count.
There are 7 of us, but I completely
I guess we
concur.
haven't told Grant yet.
Yeah,
Okay.
I completely.
6, yeah,
we
7
haven't
of
told
us.
Grant yet. There are 7 include Grant. But no, I completely concur with what Will says, and for all of us, for all of you who have stuck around, I mean, shoot, we've been going on. We're at the 7 hour and 30-minute mark. Oh my God! And we've consistently had a lot of viewers, and I have a feeling a lot of you stuck with us the whole day. So shout out to you guys. We really appreciate it. And if any of you haven't given us a follow yet, I know I've said it a bunch, but go ahead and just give us a follow. That really helps us out. And we're doing this for you. We're doing this to produce content, and we've only been here for 3 weeks now, and we're only getting started. So we would love to do more content like this, and we're just having a really good time. Isn't that right, guys? Just been the whole day here.
Yeah. I love going O2 drop and then talking about the people who didn't.
Yeah,
go
did you
O2
get
drop.
the spoon yet?
No, somebody left it at the house.
I forgot.
You left it at that's the jersey. I
forgot
Pretty
that.
sure
the
that's
jersey.
the jersey.
The jersey.
So what happens when we leave a jersey at home?
You just die.
We'll just cut your arm
It
off.
just die.
It's no more jersey, it's just the first time.
Yeah.
All right,
You get
so
dunked on by
looks
everyone
like we're
else.
resolving mulligans. And chat again. Look at these guys just smiling, having fun, nice banter. What is this?
That means they split the cash.
This is the
probably.
finals.
They probably split the cash. They
Split the
split
cash.
How can you tell they're smiling?
Because I saw the guy
Body
smile.
language. Yeah.
Oh.
That's just Twan. Twan's a really nice
Yeah,
guy.
Twan's just happy.
Yeah.
There's no way. Knowing Anthony, there's no way he smiled.
Yeah. Do you like how Anthony's showing his little shirt like icon?
Yeah.
Like right there.
He know
before?
he's a pro at this.
Yeah.
He's been here
Put
before.
something over that. Cover that up.
Yeah,
Put my face over it.
We're
Josh
not there
has
to
a
dictate.
Josh has a fun story about Iron City. So they gave us a bunch of shirts or whatever to use for an event, and basically they asked. I was getting all the sizes, and I was like, "Oh, Josh wears a medium." And he
No, I
goes,
said a large.
yeah,
Josh was a large, and Anthony goes, "I'm gonna give him an extra large just in case."
yeah. It's like he looks like he needs an extra large.
I was like, "Thanks."
That's after he was. That's why you were losing weight, wasn't it?
Yes, I was like, because I would look at myself in the mirror every day and be like, "You're a piece of garbage." You need to leave.
Self-love and self-care, guys.
All right.
Self-love and
Oh.
self-care. Start off with a delighted halfling for Twan, land pass for Anthony.
Could be huge if we have the Teferi, just another halfling.
Yeah.
We have
The
time
second
to-
halfling is nasty
It
though,
really
because
is.
now it turns off the mystical disputes for Anthony. And if Twan actually, which you probably would have just slammed it down turn 2 right there, but if Twan is able to get Teferi in play, it's going to be really tough sledding for Anthony, who has a force negation in play that I mean, you can't imagine,
subtlety.
and a subtlety. Subtlety would be good for the Teferi that resolves, but you got to imagine those force negations are just going to rot in his hand,
No, for
or
sure.
at least pitch to subtlety.
And I think that is a very key point, is having the subtlety is probably the best case scenario in this spot, because those force negations not likely to do much, but pitching subtlety is a real thing.
All right, Twan is fetching,
It's very relevant.
getting a Ketria Triome.
So we've got 4 mana available here, possibly 5. I don't think we have any 5-mana legendary stuff. I think what
The only 5-mana legendary spell that you can cast is Elish Norn.
that's true.
So I mean, turn 3 Elish Norn seems like a pretty cool.
The
cool
turn
thing to
3
do.
Elish Norn uncounterable seems pretty good. I agree.
Doesn't do much against Rhinos. I guess.
A turn
but,
3
Well,
4/7
hits itself.
vigilance with upside
Yeah, it might be all right.
that stops subtlety and parry.
Up here it comes.
All right, here it
Here it
comes.
comes.
One ring? Omnath.
Omnath. All right, well here comes the fetch land. Oh no, it's on the stack. I mean, Anthony's
He
probably
can
considering
subtlety
if
it.
he wants to subtlety that, and it's definitely an uphill battle.
I don't
Or
think he's being subtle.
he also has a brazen borrower. I don't know if he's considering going petty theft with a trigger on the stack. It's hard to say.
No, we're 2 turns into this game, and I am not loving the position if I'm Rhinos. What do you think?
Well,
Are we behind? Is this...
if you're Rhinos, you're definitely behind because if anything, if nothing else, Twan has a card that can 1-for-1 trade with a Rhino and Omnath by itself. But not only that, but Twan has 2 ways to make his just banger threats uncounterable. So that force negation that Anthony has in hand isn't going to be doing a whole lot. And it's just, you can just see how these casual spells that Twan just playing his deck is just a haymaker.
I feel like if he's going to subtlety here against Omnath,
That's a real tell, I think.
well, it's kind of a tell too, but like I don't, because Teferi is such a big problem for him too.
Yes.
It seems like
If Teferi resolves, it's going to be. It's
he-
hard to imagine Anthony can actually win.
he has to have turn 3 Rhinos in if he's going ahead and playing subtlety here.
Yeah. Now, granted, I will say this: if Anthony does rip a Cascader right now, then this play is very, very
Right.
good. So it is an upside play.
But riddle me this: he exiles the brazen borrower to the subtlety and not the force of negation in the face of 2 delighted halflings.
Yes, that would be. I think that would be a misstep, and if he could have that back and actually analyze it more, he probably would make that play. I mean, I don't blame him, but that is a Shardless. No, it's not a Shardless agent. That is an Otawara. But there
That
it
is
is.
a Shardless
It is a
agent.
Shardless agent.
Okay, all right.
How about
So
that? Okay.
This makes that a little bit make more sense then that he's subtlety.
It makes it better, but I still don't love that force negation.
Do we
sitting
know
in
where, guys? Do you remember where they put that Omnath? Did they put it on top or bottom?
Bottom. It was bottom.
Okay. Well, we'll see. I mean, we're definitely playing on, and this is as good as it's gonna get. If Twan can answer these Rhinos, I think it's pretty fair to say that's game, if not very close to being game. But if not,
No
Yeah.
longer the ideal moment, but a Teferi off the top for Twan would still be a
It would.
really good draw. You get to bounce one of those Rhinos for free, and it garners at least 1 attack. But we shall see. We're
I thought
shoveling away.
I thought he had a Teferi in his hand. Does he not?
I'm not sure.
Anthony. Now I say that Anthony just flashed a violent outburst in hand. His hand is Otawara, violent outburst, and Fury. My goodness,
That's
that is quite a hand
That
for the
is-
Rhinos player.
quite. Honestly, I don't see why he didn't Fury.
So I take it back where I said if they deal with one of the Rhinos, the
There's
game's
2
over.
lands on the field, right?
Absolutely not.
I don't see why. Oh, 3. I think I still would have Fury and probably killed the halflings and hit them off
I agree.
there.
That's not a bad point. Just go ahead and.
Yeah.
Teferi is just a tad slow now.
Yeah.
Because Teferi dies, you can bounce a Rhino, but it's still just dead on the crackback. You need Teferi plus Solitude, Subtlety, not Subtlety, Fury. But what do we see here?
And
Prismatic.
Prismatic
That's
ending?
prismatic ending.
Sure.
Kill one of them.
You got it.
Going in.
This goes back to where I was saying these 1-for-1 threats are not good for the control deck. You get the other one,
You
sure,
just do the
that's
other one.
fine.
Binding.
That's fine. It's
Or
just,
no,
it's
it's
just
another-
another ending. Fine. That is.
What-
If
what
I'm
did he-
Anth, I do not care.
What did he? What did he
He
do?
just
for the-
he just 1-for-1 his whole board. But what's so
3 for
brutal
1.
is he 1-for-1. He cast 3 spells to deal with 1 threat, which was the Shardless Agent, which
Yep.
created the Rhinos.
Missing a land drop, but with 1 card in hand. So we know that's got to be
Yeah.
some spell. Question is, what is it?
If I'm Anthony, all right. So he has Lore revealed. Would you guys just slam down Violent Outburst right now? Now you
Yes.
think about it.
Yes. Yes.
I agree.
He has 1 card in hand. You go ahead. You do it. Well, yeah. You just do it.
But what is he thinking about?
And
he wants
cycling play a land, then violent outburst. I think is what he's trying to
I
do.
couldn't figure out if we were frozen or if he was just thinking.
He can't cast the binding? What lands are those that on the...
That is a Ketria Triumph, a Temple Garden, and another Triumph of some sort. It might be an Adantha. I could be wrong.
Ragrom?
He played Ralgren this turn. Okay.
Okay, so that's just cast. That's white,
Ralgren
blue,
Triumph
red,
is white.
black, and green. So he has.
Has all 3 colors.
Yeah, he's got all 5.
No, I think he fetched on Anthony's last instep for the Ragrom Triumph. I believe that is what happened. Because he missed a land drop this last turn. This is turn 4, and Tuan did start on the play.
And it is Omnath. Okay.
Well, if he's going to be in this game, that's the answer.
That's the one card you
He's gonna
need.
help stabilize. Yep.
It trades off with 1 Rhino at the very least. It gains you life. That's definitely the equalizer.
But
Let's
if
see
he
if
can
he gets
find that
land.
extra land.
He gets
Or
the
he
land.
missed
And
a land
it
drop last
he
turn.
moved a card forward. It's hard to tell what it was.
Whoops. Oops. Also.
And he passes. And now we see the Violent Outburst.
Yes.
Alright.
So I almost wonder if Tuan might regret not tapping the Halfling for that 4th color mana for the Omnath, because Halfling's doing nothing relevant this turn. I would love to have a white mana open just to at
for
least...
a Leyline Binding.
Yeah, to bluff a Leyline Binding if nothing else. But right now, Anthony knows that the shields are down. If he can find a way to answer this Omnath right here, that's just a free
And
8
that
damage.
looks like
more or
it's a
less.
land. I think he drew a
Alright.
land. Oh, he has
Wait,
Otawara.
He has
Otawara
Otawara in hand,
also.
so he
Otawara.
can, in the very least, put that Omnath back in hand.
Yeah,
and-
that was a breeding pool that he drew.
Sure. And just
I'm
swing to no
breeding-
blocks.
I'm breeding your pool. Wait.
Alright, and I love that attack by Anthony. Attack, see how he blocks, and then you can, with residual damage, play
I
Fury.
forgot about the Fury.
Yep. Okay.
We gotta be quiet.
So,
We gotta be quiet.
alright, so now we have Fury and this board state, and it looks like Anthony's going to take game 1. Wow.
Good game 1.
Great game 1.
Yep, Anthony. Yep, good.
You got it. You got it. I don't know how to do it.
What
Alright.
the fuck is going on?
Trying to figure out
Really, it's just a mouse.
some technicals. Cool. Transition.
Alright, so we have Anthony up 1. And,
Solo.
alright, let's go ahead and let's take a look at their sideboard real quick. Let's see what Anthony can have going on for him. Right off the bat, I know Tuan has some Chalice of the Voids, and that would be the one that I'd want to bring in immediately. I mean, obviously Chalice isn't great. Again, I mean, it's obviously good, but it's not just going to win the game on its own. but Chalice in tandem with all your other control elements can be very good. So let's see. For Twan, his sideboard is 2 Boseiju, 2 Chalice, 2 Flusterstorm, 2 Dovin's Veto, 3 Endurance, 3 Obsidian Charmaw, and 1 Emrakul of Promised End. So obviously, like I mentioned, the 2 Chalice and Void seem very strong. The 2 Flusterstorms also seem very good. And the 2 Dovin's Vetoes maybe one would be good. What do you guys think about that sideboard for Twan in this matchup?
Let's run
This
through.
is the camera. I can't see. What's the
So let's see.
really?
Obviously, the Chalice of the Voids come right in. Like you said, the Flusterstorm, Dovin Veto is pretty good. I think it's pretty clear cut right there. I don't know what Emrakul's doing.
Okay, one second.
Endurance doesn't really help much. Obsidian Charmaw,
Oh yeah, right.
not particularly useful. I think it's just a clear cut Chalice, Flusterstorm, Dovin's Veto.
All right, what about you, Matt? What do you think about that sideboard?
Can I use that brick?
Yeah.
So out of Twins,
Jazzy J 709. Hello, friend. Why don't you go ahead and give us a follow real quick?
Boseiju is actually reasonable, I feel, because Rhinos is known to play. Wait for the door to close. Because the store is kind of cleared out, so we're trying to be a little.
We're
bit
no longer
quieter.
being drowned out by the
So-
noise.
So I actually kind of like Boseiju if he has the slots to take out for it, just because Rhinos is known to play moon effects. So if he's worried about being Blood Moon, he could bring those in to cut out. The Lightning Bolt's really not doing much for him. I haven't played with this deck quite a bit, so like I can see the Lightning Bolt coming out, the Leyline Bindings maybe because Prismatic.
It's just not good.
We're gonna have to swap cameras real quick.
Sure. So on the Boseiju note, noting that they do have access to sideboards, you can see that there's only one full Blood Moon in Anthony's sideboard, if I remember correctly. Does that change the Boseiju argument?
While you're going over, let's take a look at the. Let's take a look at another.
Do you need some help setting up right here?
All right, where's the?
Sorry, y'all. We are trying to figure out some technical difficulties.
we could change
Swap cameras out before one dies on the other.
Go to caster screen.
So we're gonna go to the caster screen. We're gonna just swap over real fast, so we can change these cameras out. Yeah. So we're looking at sideboarding. They're still in the process. We are trying to get the camera swapped over. But yeah, so only one Blood Moon in the sideboard from Anthony. What does that make you think with the Boseijus? Is it still worth bringing 1 or 2 in, or does that nullify
Well,
the reason for him?
being up in deck list, I think you might as well consider bringing 1 in. I mean, it's a land, and so
I think you can probably merit bringing it in just because, like, I feel like if I was in Twine's seat, I'm going to be cutting a lot of this 1-for-1 removal in favor of the Flusterstorm, the Dovin's Veto, and the Chalices because those are kind of removal spells for the Rhinos. They take care of both Rhinos instead of just one, like the Leylines do.
Sure.
So,
you have the deck list for Rhinos.
oh yeah, I'll pull up Rhinos right now. Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, so out of Rhinos, yeah, we see the 3 Endurance, 2 Fury, 4 Force of Vigor, 4 Force of Vigor, wow.
Full 4.
2 Mystical Dispute, 3 Blood Moons, and 1 Boseiju.
Oh,
So
is it 3 Blood Moons?
Anthony has a lot of gas that he can work with here.
Gotcha. So I was wrong on the Blood Moons. So yeah, I think definitely you're bringing the Boseijus then. Do they come out for straight lands, or are you considering the Boseijus only spells?
I mean, really, I think that the Boseijus are you're kind of treating them as spells. I've never been one to sideboard lands, to be honest. So
I think you treat it as a spell. Boseiju is important. I think what's just the money card are the obviously the 3 Blood Moons and the 2 Mystical Disputes. If you're Anthony, you want to slam those down and just kind of ride that wave because that's really what he did.
Did you get the new camera on? It should be connected. So check up here.
Yep, I clicked the camera.
Yeah. And
There
then
should
you
be
have to change it over here.
Right, to...
Whichever one shows
change-
up. Properties.
Ooh,
Very
am I
bottom.
deaf, dumb, or blind?
Very bottom.
Very bottom, okay. Copies.
And then click that, and then click that.
Cool. There we go. We're gonna set up.
Does it look okay?
Yep, looks good. And we can transition back to
All
the
right,
game.
and we're back. And perfect. Right on time as we were resolving mulligans. Looks like they're both going to 6. And Anthony immediately flashes. One of the blood moons.
Yeah. So it looks like they are both. Oh, does it look like they're both going down to 5? Is that a 2 on that die in the middle of the screen?
That'd be my guess.
We
That'd
were
be what it's
in
for.
we were in the darkness for a second. I feel like they are both down to 5. It can be really grueling, backbreaking, and just heartbreaking.
Good?
Yeah, we all look good.
Everything
Yeah.
looks good. We're all good.
What's the battery life on there?
17%.
Oh, we should be fine.
Yes, as we saw in Worlds just a couple weeks ago, it can be absolutely backbreaking and disheartening to mulligan to 5 in the finals of a tournament. I feel like it's a little bit less so when both players mulligan to 5. Josh, what do you think of this double mulligan? Does it favor one player over the other? Does it feel just as bad if your opponent kept 7?
I think it favors Rhinos, to be honest, because like I said, Rhinos just need so little to work off of to be good. You just need one spell. You just need Charlotte's Agent to go on the stack, and you work. Whereas with a 5-color control deck, you're kind of going on this escalator where you need to start with a certain spell, play a Renin 6, and just kind of build and accrue off of that and accrue off of Beanstalks. Whereas Rhino, it's just you just need Charlotte's Agent, Violent Outburst.
Sure. So if you're coming at this from the 5-color side, assuming that you're starting off behind on these 5 cards, what do you think they need? Is there a specific card he's looking for? Is he trying to find a Chalice and just rely on that?
I mean,
what's the hope?
I mean, the hope is you definitely want to. Chalice is definitely one of the things that you need because, like I said, one of the ways that Rhinos can really work off of a low resource hand like a mulligan to 5 is by resolving a Cascade spell. So if you get a Chalice on 0, that can buy you some time while you try to develop.
Twine mold again.
Oh,
Twan
that's down to
mulligan,
4.
down to
That's
4?
brutal.
Is this? We have confirmed this is a mold. This is.
Well, we said it's a mold of 2 just because
Or-
if you look and you see that die, it's rolled to 2. If that's a mold of 4,
Anthony's hand indicates we may have been wrong, but it looks like it is 6 cards.
6 cards. Okay.
So it may the die must just be coincidentally in the middle. So it looks like it is 6 for Anthony, down to 5 for Twan. Still, I don't think that changes too much. It does increase the odds that Anthony may have.
What
an
we
answer
said
to
said
Chalice.
still applies essentially.
I think it does. I think at this point, being on 5 to a 6, you have to. If I'm in the 5-color control, I might consider the heavy possibility that my opponent does already have an answer for Chalice and rely more on Adoben's Veto if I have access to it.
Oh, the camera's charging, so if this goes to game 3, we can switch out.
Sure. Yeah, so what are your thoughts on Dova's Veto over Chalice at this moment? Like, do you think one is inherently better than the other, or would you rather? Obviously, you'd like to have both, but
I would rather Chalice just because it's free. It doesn't, you don't have to worry about developing your mana or gumming up anything. If they both sage you, at least it ramps you. I mean, just a small edge. I mean, it's.
Oh, there got the life total.
I got it. You can do it. You can do it. No.
We'll go ahead and adjust the life total real quick. Starting off with a turn 1 suspended.
Yeah.
Turn 1 suspended, crashing footfalls.
Yep.
And if I am not unless I'm mistaken, it appears Anthony also has a Shardless Agent in hand. So
yeah. So we'll.
he's just encroached on their territory.
Yeah, I just pushed it up a little bit.
This will be.
He's got the big dice too, so you can see everything.
It's very unambiguous how many time counters are on that suspend card, and I am correct. There is a Shardless Agent in Anthony's head.
That is land go from the control side.
That's like the best thing control can do.
Yep.
It is. So I wonder if. Obviously, he has to have some interaction in his hand. I think if you're mulliganing 5, maybe you just found no lands, but I feel like you're looking for some sort of interaction.
I believe what we're going to see is we're going to see Anthony pass turn and then ice one of the mana sources on Twan's either upkeep or instep. I'm not sure if he has a third. Let's see. It doesn't look like he has a third mana source currently. So unless he has an Otawara or one of those channel lands, so it appears that he's going to try to Howling Mind his way into a third land so he can slam down this Shardless Agent. And let's not forget, if this game does go medium to sort of longer, we still have this Cascade. Still have this Crashing Footfalls that's just waiting in the wings. So
You got there. Good job.
yeah, I got it out eventually.
No,
Jazzy, thank you so much for the Prime sub. We appreciate
Prime
that.
sub. Shout out to Jazzy J779. I know that guy.
now, is this an upkeep ice or is this an in-step
This
ice?
is an upkeep
It
ice.
appears to be an upkeep, and it's going to hit the white source, which is smart. It turns off all the leyline bindings, turns off
to fairy.
to fairy.
We're actually we're one sub away from unlocking another emote slot.
Let's
That's
go.
freaking sweet.
One
So-
more sub.
Yeah, one more sub and we'll actually have another emote slot. Cool.
So we see a planes go from Tuan. That's making me think Dovin's Vita. What about you?
Dovin's Veto, that's definitely up there. It's definitely being well represented. Tuan needs to just hopefully
Draw better.
For Tuan's case, it is there, but you're just gonna jam it.
Yeah, he's just jamming.
You're just gonna jam it. There's no playing around at this
Right.
point.
Even if he has it, that still leaves you with a 2/2. That it's not a very fast clock, but it's
There's
a relevant
pressure.
number.
And he's mulling it over. He hasn't just slammed down an answer to it, so gotta wonder. He is
Seems like
pondering.
you said
though.
that resolves.
He is pondering, and yep, it resolves.
There's Gyarados on the field.
There it is.
Big-
So
Gyaradoses.
Garrett Dawson.
Gyarados?
Garrett Dice.
Gyarados, yeah, I like that.
I bet you.
What
Yep,
is it?
and it's gonna be
Everybody's
everybody's favorite
magic
card. Does Anthony have the?
It's not my favorite!
Anthony has a force
He has a
negation, but
force.
doesn't have a blue card.
I think that we just have some banter between the players.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think so.
Good.
We are scaring ourselves a little bit at this point.
I will say whoever wins this match, we should interview him at the end of this.
I'll do that.
I'll let y'all handle that.
I'll let Josh do it. Josh has been doing all the interviews, has been doing a great job.
We'll do a quick one because I hungies.
A quickie?
Yep.
Okay.
That's right. Welcome to Magic After Dark. We are Southern Magic.
Yeah, it's 7 o'clock. It's basically after dark.
It's the South. 7 o'clock is after dark. For
Yeah,
the
that's true.
South.
Yeah, we're gonna go sit on our porches after this and
The,
drink sweet tea.
the Cracker Barrel's closed. It's after dark.
Yeah, when Cracker Barrel's closed, it's done.
I actually worked at Cracker Barrel.
Oh, really?
We can talk about that later.
We'll talk about that later
On the
once-
podcast.
after a couple beers. All right. Well, Tuan is definitely digging, playing a blocker. That's essentially what that half is going to be, and probably a Teferi. Yep.
Magic
And
Mad
that's
Dark.
gonna
Oh,
that's
man.
gonna get countered,
This is-
and that is real brutal if you're a Tuan fan.
I mean, Anthony's got another force. Like, I mean, I guess it's so weird too because this looks really good for Anthony right here. But I mean, there is the potential that he could draw. He could have one of those Elishnorn draws where he just plays Elishnorn and Solitudes, and then he's right back in it. Like it's
True.
It's so stringy.
It's very close. Having an active ring is scary. However, this is 10 points of damage that's about to come across.
Well,
And
he's
not only
protected
that-
for a turn.
And not only that, but we have a Crashing Footfalls on Anthony's side that's about to come off. And there we go.
That is true.
So that Footfalls is actually gonna. It's not often you see a turn 1 suspended Footfalls that's gonna make a difference, but
Does Twan
Looks
have
like it's doing
EE
it right now.
in his sideboard?
he does not. Tuan
Wow.
has 0 board wipes other than Fury, and I honestly think this backup force negation that Anthony's holding in his grasp, that might be good enough. Obviously, they do have that Delighted Halfling, but that thing is about to get.
He just
it's
dismembered.
about to get
Let's go.
Oh
dismembered.
my goodness!
Wow.
I think we're going to see.
And that's an outburst.
Violent
and
outburst.
that's
I think
gonna
that's
do
it.
it.
That's it.
That's gonna do it.
Is that
He's
lethal?
checking it.
That is
That
8,
is
10,
13 damage, but
and
it's
then
just
a ring on 2.
and a ring on 2. That's gonna do it.
Wow.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Get
What
the
a
Rhinos.
what a run and what a game and what a match.
Does this resolve?
Yeah, does this resolve? Wow.
Is that good opponent?
And now we see the Pikachus for the first time
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, I said that if those flying Pikachus ever
And
hit the
upkeep
board,
trigger.
you have lost the game.
He's gonna draw, I guess,
Looking for Leyline
Like
Binding.
Leyline Binding
It's
or
the only thing I
bust.
can think of.
or pitch a elemental and trigger on the stack, exile it, but then you're just doing
That's
nothing.
it.
That's
That's
it.
it.
Good job.
Anthony wins.
We're gonna do a
Rhinos
interview with
takes it
Anthony.
down.
All right,
Let's
well,
get an interview.
congratulations to our winner, Anthony, and we are going to
Transition
take
back.
about a couple minutes just to get everything together, get situated, and I'm going to do a quick interview with him. Shout out to Anthony. Shout out to all of you guys. Don't go anywhere. We're going to have one last interview. We're going to send you guys off for the night. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, that was a pretty clean game. Game 3 from the Rhino side. Obviously, we saw the mulligan to 5 from Tuan, which no one likes to see in the finals. But Anthony did a really good job of capitalizing on that and making sure that he just had the answers that he needed before he overextended himself.
Yeah, they showed a lot of patience. They understood. It's much like that game with Scam. They showed a lot of patience. They understood where they were. They showed a lot of patience with the force negation, that subtlety in game 1 to target the Omnath. I remember we were all like, we figured it might be smarter to hold that for Teferi, but he knew where he was at, and he paid dividends to him. So congratulations to him. He definitely played an excellent game.
He did that.
Excuse me,
And
and
yes,
we have a
that-
seat that's warm for you, my friend.
And
Here's
yes,
the man of
Jay
the
was
hour.
a bullfrog. It is over. Rhinos is officially the winner of this RCQ.
We're gonna take like a 5-minute interview.
Yeah.
All right. Well, to my left, we have our winner here, our champion of the Gear Gaming RCQ, Anthony Casella.
Thank you.
Congratulations, friend.
Thank you.
All right. So obviously, we got to catch your semifinals match and obviously that finals match, and we caught you earlier today in the stream. Showed a lot of patience in good spots. Showed a lot of resolve. Understood where you were. But no one knows how you play with this deck better than you. So take us through your experience with the deck today.
Well, first, Gear Gaming did a great job running the event. Also, on a game store, so shout out to my own game store, Iron City Games.
Free plug.
But the deck is super powerful. Scam felt really, really hard. I think my top 4 match was the hardest match of the day. The only reason I won is my opponent only had the scam on turn 1 or game 1. 2 Gemstone Cavern is insane. 1 Brazen Barber won me the game against Scam, so that shout out to Will. Deck's kind of nuts. Yeah, I don't know. I don't play Magic. I haven't played Magic in 14 months.
That's all good. Hey, well, for someone who hasn't played a lot of Magic, someone who claims that, you showed a lot of resolve, showed a lot of patience. So in game 1 of the finals, I did want to ask you, you had an opportunity where your opponent played an Omnath, an uncounterable Omnath, and you decided to subtlety, evoking the subtlety on the Omnath. Did Teferi cross your mind at all when you did that, or did you just
Yeah,
want to
so
get it out of the way?
I figured if he had Teferi, he would have played it the turn before because he had double Delighted Halfling. And like he declined from going turn 2 Teferi, so I didn't think he was holding Teferi. Honestly, he kind of seemed like the type of guy who just ran stuff out. But the Omnath, I was kind of worried about it just trading with a Rhino and it slowing my tempo down because I think the longer the game goes, the better chance he has at winning. And so it was a long, thought-out process because I think I made Rhinos the next turn, and then I made Rhinos the following turn, if I remember correctly. And I was worried about it blocking and him getting value, and that's kind of really it. I was actually really mostly worried about him gaining 4 life twice.
Sure. I got to factor in the clock when making that decision, but
Thanks, David.
that's right. Last thing I want to say, last question I guess, is throughout the tournament, you obviously, any spicy matchups, any interactions that happened that you haven't seen in a while?
I think, round 1 I beat the shit out of Merfolk. No, for all seriousness, I think the only like real decision I made all day that could have been questionable was game 3 against Scam on the draw.
Shut the camera.
Okay, yeah, game 3 against Scam on the draw. We both mulled the 6, and I had the option to Gemstone Cavern, and I chose not to because my hand was like, I had Beseiju, and I was very worried. He was playing 3 Chalice on the sideboard, and he was playing Blood Moon, and my hand was really weak to Blood Moon. And I didn't know if he would bring it in or not. I know usually you don't bring in Blood Moon against Blood Moon decks, but you never know. So I decided not to and play the longer game. In hindsight, if I would have known my opponent's hand, I would have just Gemstone Cavern.
Sure.
But if he would have Grief and then Undying his Grief, I'd have been really worried because then I would have had 3 less cards, and he'd have a 4/3 that I can't deal with. And so it was a really questionable decision, I think. But I mean, Burn seemed way easier than I thought it was going to be. Like I was really worried about top 8 Burn, but I kind of.
You typically have to just hold the force negation for their big damage spell.
Yeah, I mean you have to be careful about the enchantment, but I really. I don't know. My hands were kind of nuts. The same thing when I played against Dredge today. game 2 on the draw, Gemstone Caverned. I turn 1 Besaju'd his ley line on the end of his turn, on the end of his second turn, and he discarded his whole hand to Conflagrate, and then I went Endurance, and then I went Blood Moon, and I don't know. I felt like I drew the correct sideboard cards today when I wanted to see them.
Sure.
The only other thing that I thought was super weird about the deck is I don't know when it's right to bring in Force of Vigor. Because, when you're 2 for 1-ing yourself, it feels bad. But against the matchups where they're like bringing in 3 or 4 Chalices and like 2 or 3 Blood Moons, you're like, man, Force of Vigor could be really good here, but it could also just be the worst card in my deck. I think Force of Vigor only should come in against Urza Saga decks, probably. I don't think it's good against Chalice. Beseiju was the best card in my deck this weekend. You told me to switch to playing a second Beseiju in the sideboard, and it was the best card by far.
Good. Well, look, like you mentioned, you drew a lot of your sideboard, but, you got to put yourself in a position to draw your sideboard cards. You have to sideboard in a way that allows you to take advantage of them. And for someone who doesn't play a lot of Magic, you don't have to play Magic for a lot longer until at least Denver. So,
yeah.
Congratulations, my friend.
Thanks, man.
Everyone, shout out to Anthony. Congratulations. And give us just give a minute. We'll close you guys.
I have one more thing.
One shout out.
K3 MTG sucks at Magic.
That's a great way to close it out. Don't go anywhere. We're going to close you guys out, and we'll finish this off. We're just going to close it out. All right, we'll come over
Bye,
here.
guys.
Thanks for the views.
We really appreciate everybody for coming out today. We really do. Big shout outs to Gear Gaming for letting us stream this event. I hope y'all enjoyed the content. We'll be posting this on YouTube later so y'all can watch the VOD if y'all would like. For anybody in the channel that is not following and would like to drop us a follow, there's a little button down there. Just hit it, get notified whenever we go live. Also, we do have a Discord. For anybody that wants to join that Discord, you are more than welcome to do that. And also, we post on Twitter, we post on YouTube, TikTok. We'll post it. We need to start a link on there. But
that's about it.
I think that's it. If you want to do your closing message.
Yeah, sure. Just want to say, hey, thanks a lot for you guys coming out here. 35 viewers, and we averaged that pretty much the whole day. It's just unbelievable. For a channel that we just started about 3 weeks ago, it's unbelievable where it's taken us. And
it's incredible because we can't actually raid anybody yet. We are not old enough to raid yet.
We are ahead of the curve. And you know what? That's because of you guys. It's because y'all support what y'all done. We couldn't do it without you. And the most exciting part is we're just getting started. So this is Josh the intern. This is Hargett. We have Drew Not Drew. We have Johnny Jugs, and we have Crouton signing out. And as always, remember the best part about Magic is the gathering. So take care of yourself. Take care of each other. We'll see you next time.
Y'all have a good night.